Perfect. Perfect. Alright, so we're just at a local wreckers on the hottest possible day of the year, I reckon. So this is a VS Commodore. This is a live axle rear, so the solid axle, not the independent rear, they're different. So the live axle rear has got a drum handbrake and a caliper foot brake. So we're trying to make this suit the R31 Wagon, which also has a Borg 78. So this backing plate and everything that comes off of here should fit the 31 Wagon, but we need to make the handbrake setup work. So none of it bolts to the diff housing, it all bolts to the dust plate or the backing cover of the diff, so that shouldn't be too hard to get working. The only other difference is that this is a 5 stud, we need 4 stud, but that's okay, we can just re-drill the disc, and then the spacing is the other thing that needs to be right, so we'll figure that out. So provided the handbrake works, then we just need to sort out a disc that will accept the 32 GTR caliper and make a dog bone so that fits, and we're all good. We've got some handbrake action on a 31 and GTR brakes on a 31. That's the plan. So start by just ripping the shit you need off of the Commodore. Apparently this is held on with more than wheel nuts. Looks like some spiders have made it home. Anyway, if you ever get the wheel off, you can pull the disc off, but Jesus Christ, this is difficult. Anyway, have fun with that. Alright, so after 25 minutes of non-stop beating the piss out of the rim, you finally get this rusted heap of crap off and dive into the rest of it. So caliper off, make sure the handbrake's off, beat this till it comes off, and then pull apart the drum setup, and there's 4 bolts holding the axle in. Flip the disc around, use it as a slide hammer, it's going to be fun. Get that out, and then pull the backing plate off, all the rest of the crap, and don't forget the cable. Alright, once you finish pulling all apart, these are all the bits you should have. 1 adjuster, 2 retention pins, 2 shoes, 2 springs. You can keep a brake line clip and the brake bolts if you want, it's up to you if you're taking the caliper. And then this bit attaches to the cable, and this pin here is the smallest bit that you don't want to lose. So I didn't get this off the other side, so I'll have to go looking for it in the dirt, but don't lose that, it'll just fall out and it joins that pin to that pin, and that's where the what's the name goes. Oh, and there's another spring that goes behind the dust cover, which I have conveniently thrown back in the dirt. Here it is. So that spring goes here. So they're all the bits you need, make sure you got them all. So unfortunately in Australia, wreckers are few and far between now, but if you can find a good one, man, they've got some gems. Obviously you got the more modern stuff, which is typically just burnout rigs, as you can see by this tyre that's been shredded. Then we come down the back and we go, ooh, what is that? Looks like maybe a HJ, it's an old Ford, some older Commodores up there, VB, that looks like a VX or something. Sorry, not a VX, same HJ. This one looks like a HX. It's a HR, another HR, it's a VK Commodore I think, it's an EJ or EH Ute back there, another HR, whatever that is, maybe a HG. Of course the old panel van, it's such a wicked blue paint, there's not much left of it now. It's like a VP Commodore, that's all that's left of an EH or an EJ. It looks like a Land Cruiser maybe, something, Hilux, there you go. HG, look at that, just keeps going on and on and on. This guy's got some awesome stuff. So if you get the chance, go for a wander. You won't be disappointed by what you might find. Alright, so back on the diff, and I went and spoke to Arvin from the factory, and he's had he was the one that gave me the idea for this, and he's got a pretty good crack at it. And so basically these are the 2 dust covers. So this is off the Commodore, and this is off the R31, and you can see the cutouts for the brakes and then the shape of the flange. So this flange is essentially 90 degrees out of alignment, so it's been turned 90 degrees to the right as opposed to this one. You can see that they line up like this,
far as the holes go. I like this as far as the brake cutouts go. So I had a look at this one, and it sits up like that, and I would like this one to sit the same way as this one. So as per 5 minutes ago when I just drilled the 32 GTR calipers, I thought maybe I could try and drill this plate out. And I had a look, and it looks like there's going to be just enough meat to do it. Worst comes to worst, I can weld these holes up afterwards. And I also looked at it and realized that if I leave this stud in, that can be this stud here, that stud there, I think. Anyway, so I just knocked the other ones out. That other plate's on the ground, and now I can hopefully test fit this and see if it's going to do what I want it to. So here's the first test as well. Just bear with me. So I might need to throw a nut on here to hold it. Anyway, so it looks like it's going to fit everywhere. Let me hop up. So this is supposed to be at the bottom. This is the lower shock mount. There's the bottom of the diff, so you can see that they're all in a line, which is great. That fits nicely. Obviously get that centered when the bolts are in. Nothing touches around the edges, so that's great. I can probably cut this off in order to fit the caliper, because the caliper is going to need to sit there. But I don't actually know if it's going to get in the way. But either way, I'll be able to make something to adapt onto the GTR caliper here. Drum stuff goes here, axle goes into there, and then I just need a disc that will suit. So I believe RB Factory said something like a VS or VNSS rear disc will do the job, or maybe an EL disc. But either way, this looks promising. If I just drill these out, I think this will work. So I'll do that, and then we'll go from there.